Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Tim from Tim Shiiba, and today we're back with Talk It Out. And again, today I'm joined by the Fung Brothers and Nelson Chan from Hoopin' Life, and today we're talking about Asian American culture.
Let's talk Asian-American, hyphenated.
Yeah, Asian American is like the Asians that are trying to assimilate into American culture. And when I talk about Asian American culture, like I'm trying to think of there's like the African American or like the Black world. That's a whole culture. That's not American culture. That's like Black American culture, or like Latinos, like Puerto Ricans, or like Dominicans and all that. And like,
well, they have their own thing.
They kind of have a mixture. They have a mixture of American and Asian culture.
They have their own values. They each think of their own thing as cool. Like, yeah, this is cool. This is cool. They have their own set of values. But Asian Americans don't have any of that.
And I would say it is increasing year by year as Asian Americans like our age, let's just say us, for example, like the 20 to 30 year olds, we're kind of we create things, whether it's YouTube or movies or the things we post on Instagram or the food we eat, that's all culture, and that is kind of being put out there more and more with social media.
Yeah, especially with YouTube. YouTube has kind of like progressed Asian American culture, I feel like.
Yeah, it's put it out there. It's kind of shown other people how a lot of Asians in America live.
It's probably been the most important thing, like before there was YouTube for Asian Americans, it was just Zanga and MySpace. Right. Tumblr a little bit.
And Asian America being like everything's in English, but then like if some like let's say a white or black person from outside of that community were to look at it, they'd be like, what the hell are they talking about?
Yeah. I feel like the first Asian American culture that was like on MySpace and stuff, that was like AZN culture.
Yeah.
All right, let's just say you have 3 different subdivisions of Asian American culture. Like, let's just draw that on the screen right now.
Yeah.
One would be AZN, which is more considered like ghetto Asian culture, right?
Yeah.
Then I would say another one would be like Asian yappy culture, which is more like the kids who grow up playing piano, doing math, SAT tutors and stuff like that.
I think there's also geeky culture.
Oh, you're right.
Nerdy culture.
Geeky.
I want to specifically say geeky, not nerdy.
Okay, so you're right. Actually, you have those 3 buckets that are underneath the Asian American umbrella, and would you say most people fit into one of those 3?
Right. Yeah, I feel like that most Asian Americans, like, they don't consider that a culture. Like, and they don't think that it's cool. I feel like that is pretty sad because, most Black Americans or like Latino Americans, they really buy into their own culture, and they think like, man, this is the shit. They're like, oh yeah, hip hop and like all that stuff. But I feel like Asian Americans, they just kind of like fall into it, but then really they're trying to like fall into another world.
You're saying they're not really proud of it.
Yeah.
I would say, like, let's say a lot of ASEAN people nowadays, they're not they don't got the ASEAN pride as they did like back in the Zanga days, even though they're still really ASEAN. And then it's true that a lot of Asians are not like repping the 6-hour piano life.
All right, well, how about we just try to talk about things that we think that all 3 groups, the otaku geeks and Korea boos, the yappies, which is more your Fortune 500, wear a suit life, and your AZN JDM car people all like. What's some commonalities? All right, let me say one. And me and Andrew made a song about it. Boba.
Yeah.
I think I would say all 3 drink those. What's another thing, you guys? I would say, actually, I got another one.
I would say like a common food is like sushi.
Yep.
Everybody eats sushi.
Yeah. I think most Asian Americans can get behind Jeremy Lin.
I think they did.
Yeah, at one point.
At one point, I could see over half of each of those subsets, but not anymore.
And I would say at one point the whole world was behind Jeremy Lin.
During Linsanity.
So I wouldn't say...
It would be pretty tough to be Asian and be against him.
Yeah. If you were Asian and against Jeremy Lin at that time...
Yeah. Well, you're saying that was the last event where everyone was on the same page.
Yeah, for sure.
And
I'll tell you, they all eat rice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Rice.
You cannot pass on rice.
Got rice? I think a lot of them do karaoke.
The b-boying, and then like choreography. And
I'll say this about choreography, because to be a good choreo dance team, you have to practice a lot together.
Practice?
And I don't think that many, like, not as many truly AZN people, like if you're talking about like especially the older ones, they're not getting together and practicing dance.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like it's
I mean,
young
AZN has changed even over the years. AZN to me used to be more gangster.
more hood.
Yeah.
But
Still
it's
tattoos.
it's not as gangster anymore. It's morphed, but still retains some of the same elements.
No,
I do think AZN, when you talk about AZN, there's got to be a hint of that, of
Okay, wait.
gangster.
All right, what
Like,
is?
there's a little bit of that.
It's like AZN back then. Every dude would carry a butterfly knife with them wherever they go around.
Yeah,
That's
back in the day,
I
right?
think-
Like in
I
the,
think
Not the
AZN
crazy
got-
super long belts.
I
and
think
all.
AZN back in the day was baggy pants, a big tee, and like a fitted hat, right?
I wouldn't really say fitted hat.
I was
I
gonna say
wore
spikes.
I wore I was
Like
like
a
the
hat.
spikes. The spikes, you know.
Spike here.
The pro image double XL along,
Uh-huh.
you know, the Dickie pants,
Hey,
the Chuck Taylor.
Adidas or
the
Adidas
Cortez.
Superstars with the
Nah.
with the exchanged laces. You didn't.
No, we didn't. We rocked the Cortez and the
It's LA.
The
You know
Cortez and the Chucks, bro.
I would say a lot of Asians do not have like a sophisticated sense of humor
Yeah.
in America. Like, I'm not saying that they're not funny. I just don't think it's like sophisticated on that level. I mean,
No, I don't think that Louis C.K. finds very many Asian people funny. I have a hard time.
well, there's not that many Asian comedians in America, meaning that they have their own style of comedy.
Okay. So, all right. Last question. How do we support Asian American culture?
It's tough because here basically, Tim, it's tough to say because nobody's in agreement. Because like, let's say you come here and Asian culture, at least in terms of comedy, is considered less sophisticated. You would say that, right?
Yeah.
Now, there's groups of Asians who want to empower the goofy style and say, yeah, well, that's just our style and we should be proud of it. Shout out to those specific YouTubers, you know? But then there's other people who are like, nah, man, that's the whole reason we can't make it in this country is because we're not adapting to the standards and practices of this environment. Why do we have to just accept that our humor's as well executed as it might be is always going to be in this goofy tier? So do you see what I'm saying? You have two different types of Asians.
Even just on that issue.
Even just on the humor issue, they're like how they want the future to be.
I mean, there's probably 3 or 4
Well,
different
are you
perspectives.
advocating that we should just be really proud of that? Like,
We should support people like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
I do think so.
I think you should support Asian people who care about being Asian.
Yeah.
Now, is it always clear how much someone does care or if they do at all? Not always clear, but I mean, at the end of the day, you got your own censor, and that's what I would say.
Yeah.
I'll say people who are clearly in support of other Asians, you should also support those people.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even on that issue that Tim that I asked you about the comedy, to me and I feel like for me and Andrew, it's like half.
Yeah.
Because that's why we made Boba Life, which is definitely more towards the Western world, right? Making like a rap music video or a pop rap music video.
We covered an American song.
But then the topic was so over here, like, and it was just us trying to like raise a question.
Yeah.
But like I feel like it's difficult because I can't tell people one way or the other because maybe in my life I'm over here on this issue, I'm over here on that. issue.
And certain people are born into this world, are born in a position where it just benefits them more to just stay in that kind of Asian bubble lane and just support everything that just is in this Asian sphere as opposed to supporting people who are trying to jump out of the sphere and do something else. I mean, some people are made to jump out of the sphere and some people, the way they're raised is best suited for inside.
Man, I would say, being Asian American, you gotta represent who you are. So, I mean, Westerns, they got their own thing going on. So, you gotta represent yourself and we gotta keep our thing cool. And, I mean, if us Asian Americans, we do the right things and we, represent ourselves with confidence, people might adapt into us.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
true.
I believe it. And I would say that's happened a little bit.
Right.
I would say that's happening a little bit now.
And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I feel like there's people who are trying to bridge the gap, who are trying to make Asian stuff cool, and I feel like we should just support them. Try to support them and like try to give our input
And that's
and
what
not hate on them.
And that's what me and Andrew try to do for sure because us, aren't we always looking up like the newest Asian artists?
Yeah.
Like Asian American artists, like whether they're singers or rappers or like comedians. Me and Andrew know about
Keep
it.
up.
Like I'm not even gonna say that we always talk about it, but trust me, we keep up with who's hot
I'll
in the
listen
Asian
to
American
everybody.
bubble world, inside it, outside it.
So you guys would agree, like, let's say Asians are having our own party, and as opposed to a lot of Asians being like, there's this other party over there that I'm trying to get into. Hey guys, can you invite me into your party? While we have our own party, but then let's try to make our party poppin' enough so that we can invite other people.
Yeah, I feel like basically that we can agree that, you know, black culture or like Hispanic culture or white culture, it's cool and all, but I feel like we should also try to think that our stuff is cool and like big up like, or try to like, you know, support our own culture so that we can become cool too.
But then I will say that this is a huge structural problem to what you're saying. Because a lot of people are gonna look at you, and then like, I'm not saying for me because I understand it, but a lot of people are gonna be like, "Yo, Tim, you only have that perspective because you're Japanese, because you have the most to gain from everyone liking Asian culture. Because Japan is kind of considered the hallmark modern pop Asian culture. So they're gonna look at you and be like, that's totally self-serving and self-centered of you to promote that. Because if everybody buys into the Asian system, Japan, arguably by most ranking systems, will be number one."
I feel like it would be one of the tops, but I feel like, you know, there's, like we said, like there's a bunch of Asian American things or Asian things that everyone can agree on is really good. Like, you know, Taiwanese like boba, or like Vietnamese pho, or Vietnamese import models, or like, you know,
Tim
like,
likes Vietnamese
I know where
import
your
models.
brain is at.
or like, or you know, like Korean barbecue, K-pop. Like, I feel like there's a bunch of things that are really good, and I just think that Japanese, like, I'm not.
say this.
But you can see the
I
logic
could say
behind
the logic behind it, but
I would say a lot of Asians, they have trouble ranking those things higher than all the sophisticated, well-built things that Americans have provided.
like
Yeah.
whatever types of Americans.
Yeah,
have.
whatever Americans, black Americans, white Americans. I'm just saying Americans. Like, those people are definitely American. And like, if your ask is to tell people to rank Asian stuff at the same level, then they have to be ranking it on a different metric, because if you rank it by just sophistication, of course that other stuff is gonna win because it's more developed.
I guess what I'm saying is, my question to you is like, what do you want to say to those people who feel like, well, I just want to support things that are dope regardless, and I don't want to give it the extra bump because I'm Asian and the thing you're asking me to give the bump to is Asian?
Well, I'm not saying that you have to love it. I'm just saying that you have to, like, you know, acknowledge it and not chop it down.
Not disrespect it.
Yeah, not disrespect it.
Don't put us down.
Don't put it down.
Don't bring me
Yeah,
down.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you. It's sort of like, you know, me and Andrew growing up, I did watch some Japanese stuff, but I didn't watch a lot of it. But I definitely wouldn't talk down on anime either, because I know that was kind of like the Asian cartoon growing up.
Yeah.
That's true.
Ding dong, doing
it's
my-
huge, you know.
Yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Cartoon
But
is
then I
huge.
do think that I do know Asians who would kind of talk down on it to try to lift themselves up in the eyes of other people. Like, so they're saying that, like, this is weighing me down, so I have to cut the ties from it and then, like, push away from it.
Yeah.
And then the insults are kind of like pushing away from it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't feel like that's a right way to get up either.
To sum that up, I mean, definitely the most American thing you can do is be extremely proud of who you are and let other people know that.
Yeah.
And they will respect it. They may not like it, they might not be into it, but they will usually come to respect it if you rep that hard.
Yeah.
Right, because it's like, why would someone respect you when you don't respect your own culture or you respect your own self?
That's it. That's it, man.
You gotta represent yourself first.
All right, cool. So this is near the end of the video, so let's talk about our takeaways.
I guess my takeaway is that Asian American culture is always changing, and we can just do what we can do to establish some sort of like solid base of facts to work off of.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't say right now that the community has a solid base of facts, but
Yeah, it's kind of ambiguous.
yeah,
right
it's
now.
kind of ambiguous. Like, people would disagree about the fundamental evidence.
Yeah.
Right.
But me and Andrew and our channel and your channel and whatever, you know, Nelson's channel and like other channels like Richie's, maybe we can try to work to have that discussion just to establish a table of facts.
Yeah.
Like, not even to tell people what to do with the facts, but just say, these are the facts.
Yeah.
So maybe we just, I guess the easiest way to say it is we gotta establish the evidence first, just like a court case.
Yeah.
They make the jury establish the evidence. That's why they throw out certain pieces, and then the jury has to make the decision, not what they think in their mind, but based off the evidence that's admitted.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of Americans like Korean barbecue, and I think if they do get around to eating authentic Chinese food, a lot of them.
But I think they like Americanized Chinese food a lot. Like
yes, I think
yeah,
Americanized
fried
Chinese
chicken wings and stuff.
I'll say this: Americanized Chinese food is the first little step, and then there's the bigger step. Xiaolongbao, a lot of foodies eating xiaolongbao.
I feel like banh mi's and pho is
It's in there.
Yeah.
pad thai.
Pad thai.
White people like themselves some pad
Yeah,
thai.
they like
Yeah.
some.
All right, Nelson, what do you take away?
My takeaway is kind of in order to do what David and Andrew said. I mean, you just really gotta be. I mean, you as in all of us, in a general sense, all of us, we gotta be proud for who we are, and we gotta represent, our Asian culture and really, expand it as a whole, And because it's growing and improving, we gotta represent it 100% and not be able to, pull back and just go hard on it.
And I do think, one last thing for me, and I do think it does start with having some basic understanding of Asian culture.
Right, I mean,
Yeah.
you gotta
You gotta know
understand,
some-
you gotta know and understand what your culture is like
Yeah.
in order to be proud and represent it.
Yeah. And I think my takeaway is that yes, there is Asian American culture, and this whole video explains there is evidence, there is stuff out there. We just gotta search for it, and we just gotta big it up,
Yeah, we not only do we have to find it, but we actually have to all get on the same page to at least respect it.
Yeah, just respect it.
Or at least a large number of us have to get on the same page.
Yeah.
Not every single person does.
And I think that there is a bunch of Asian creatives out there who are trying to further the movement, create new things, like the Fung Brothers. You don't have to like it or dislike it, you just gotta respect it. There.
And you know what it is, man? I'll just be honest in this video because I just have to say this. I think a lot of it comes to maybe an East Asian superiority complex a little bit, because that's why me and Andrew's Fun Bros is so crazy, because you see these Chinese guys going to Hmong food and we're gonna eat. Everybody who didn't get in one, we're gonna still go. We haven't got to do Tibetan Yan, Thai Dom. There's some other ethnicities that we haven't got to do yet. And I feel like everybody would really get to buy in if they saw that the big three, which is China, Japan, Korea, cared more about the lesser known countries.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's on us to really make that first extension to show them love.
Right.
Because even in Asia, they don't get love from the big three.
No, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's really I actually just was thinking about it this whole time. It's funny that, and I was just like, yo, man, it's actually on us to show the love first, and then people can get more down with maybe
it's
a
true.
leader that's East Asian is saying,
I mean, because East Asians generally are the more privileged class of Asians on a general basis.
Yeah.
So just how you gonna get different types of people to buy into what you say?
Yeah.
You have to be able to convince them that you understand where they're coming from.
It's on us, as the big three Asian countries that people actually know about. People only really know those three.
Yeah.
Maybe
on a mainstream level,
on the mainstream level, pretty much. It's on us to show love to everybody, so then we can feel more like one group.
Yeah. So comment down below. What do you guys think about that? I feel like I'm going to definitely be taking steps so I can expose more Asian American culture, and I feel like that's the way that I'm trying to go toward with this channel. Asian American stuff, and all that. And I feel like the Fung Bros, they're definitely trailblazers in the fact that they're trying to big up most other Asian American communities and stuff. Also, leave a comment down below on what other types of discussions we should have. And yeah, thanks to the Fung Bros, and thank you Nelson Chan from Hoop in Life for being in the video with me. And until next time, we're out. Peace.
Regardless whether you're playing the game or not. So it's while you're here, basically you're in the game whether you pick up the sticks or not. Exactly. So what you just gonna leave?